Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of the 6th round BUSR Assetto Corsa Competizione Championship. After a 3-star ahead in Monza, the series continues on forth to a new continent. The next round of the championship takes place over across the Atlantic into Watkins Glen. The Glen will host the first endurance race format of the calendar. Instead of splitting up the race of 30-minute and 45-minute races beforehand in the sprint format, this race will have the usual 20-minute exciting qualifying format we have and is now capped off with a 75-minute long race with a pit stop for tyres. Ben Gilroy, the Mustang right ahead, approaches again as the points leader. A dominant display for him in Monza assures us him and his Ford Mustang GT3 sits at the top of the standings itself. 42 points. He is the leader of the student class. Cameron Soul and Owen Smith trail behind. Both are trailing on 30.5 points. The alumni class itself has a fight brewing up as Cav Bud's lead in that class on 33 points is not all safe. Anna Foster trails behind by just half a point, with Charlie Green and Adam Bent both behind on 26 points. Very interesting qualifying here with only just 12 minutes left to go. It's all for here to play for.
Yep, that's very much true, and I believe you forgot to introduce ourselves. I'm Ozzy Vaughn on commentary and on play-by-play. The wickedly talented Amir Oates. Last race was an absolutely chaotic one, as I must say, down there in Monza. But if that one was chaos, you are not ready for what's about to happen at Watkins Glen. Like all things American, they're just better.
That's debatable. It's surely
I
been
knew you'd say
better
that.
on the GT3 cars though, because Ben Gilroy is looking to continue that domination. We were talking about all-around great performances. He was pole in the qualifying format, and he was leading in the sprint format, both races, in fact. He's certainly more or less the favorite to win here in the Glen, and hopefully bring all the joy to Ford Mustang. However, as we've mentioned with Goldsmith and Cameron Stoll, the advantages that those two had, that those have completed the podium, is that they would be coming off with less of penalties actually. So there's performance penalties now for the previous round. So Ben Gurwa will have to start the race 15 seconds behind, and Goldsmith with 10 because he has the better qualifying record, and followed by Cameron with 5.
Yep, and it'll be the same for the alumni class as well. As we saw, Cav Bud with the 15-second penalty going into this race, as well as 10 for Charlie Green and 10 for Anna Foster and 5 for Charlie Green. My screen here on Google Sheets, the lines aren't really as visible. That's why I use Excel, but that's just me. But anyways, we do have a bunch of the familiar faces, but we do have some faces that did not race in the previous week. Looking down the standings, here we have Danila Astrakhantsev in the Meme Machine livery, which I must say I very, very much approve of, having been raised on memes since 2012. We also have Ishan Wells in the 301 car, looking at sixth in the qualifying so far. But we've got a bunch of other names. Some I do know personally, some I do not know, but we will get to them as our lovely producer Mike cycles through them as they come. Big shout out to Mike as well for making all of this possible, at least for this week. Yeah, so what do you think? What do you think we can really expect, other than not expecting anything? And I know that's a rhetorical question, but please try your best to answer that, Amir. I'm
Uh,
just grasping at straws there.
the noteworthy thing to notice, in fact, was that previously back in Monza, we've only had 7 McLarens on the field out of 18 it was. This time it's a much shorter grid, which actually comes to a benefit with the track as Watkins Glen, because it is relatively shorter than that of Monza in terms of its characteristics. So we've talked about before the challenges of Watkins Glen, as someone is currently stuck in the pits. It's been a one of that of, did Gilroy go off? I wonder.
That
Because
would
he is now in
honestly
the stuck in the
be
pits. If that's the
that
case, then that proves a lot of the lead under threat, and it could be a potential curse.
that would honestly be a. I think that
No,
if the
just stop.
15, it might be divine justice saying that a 15-second success penalty may not truly be enough As yeah, there's the 34 there we saw in the pardon me, in the pits there. I apologize for that. I'm taking sips out of a drink. A very nice mug I got. But goodness gracious, yeah, we've got an exciting race still ahead of us. It looks like as yeah. So we've got Goldsmith up on here. He was our second place finisher in the longer 45-minute race last time. But honestly, I think if the Triple Crown of last week that we saw from Ben Gilroy is anything to is any indication of something, he might have this race packed up. But then again, this is Watkins Glen, a track that I have not seen action out of, at least not that I can remember. So tell us about this track, Amir. What exactly could we expect?
Well, not sure if you know this, but this is not actually my home track. I live a good 30,000 miles away compared to your relatively shorter distance. But Watkins Glen itself is, as we've talked about, short. It's really, really hilly as Astor Kuntazev goes just off. Unfortunately there for the meme machine. But you, you know, it's a very notorious and infamous street course. It's had its own fair share of the F1 experience over in the 80s before it moved over to Phoenix and Dallas street circuits. So it's one of the very last permanent streets, this one of the very last actually racing circuits there that F1 has held. But it's always been more or less of a mainstay for the NASCAR series itself. The IndyCar was raced here a little bit itself as well, and as well with IMSA as well. Slowly getting down to just over 6.5 seconds left as most of the
Six,
people have now currently set their times now.
6.5 seconds.
6.5 minutes.
I made the mistake last week. Don't you worry. But yeah, no. As the time is wrapping down, it's still Ben Gilroy out in front, followed by last week's third place finisher Cam Sherrill, and we also have Anton Johansson in third. Um, right now, Cav Bud in the Honda as well in fourth. And honestly, between the students and the alumni, I think it's still gonna be quite the battle as time's running down and not noticing any other changes, at least for now it looks like.
Alex Ben just improved himself 2 seconds as Goldsmith has now just come out on his hot lap. A podium contender last time round. He's been relatively far off compared to the rest of the field with just 3.5 seconds now. So he's going to hope to look and try and claw any performance that he possibly can into that Porsche GT3 as he now slowly heads down for the first corner. And it's going to be interesting as well because, a 75-minute race means that there's all that wide open area and possibility for different kinds of strategy situations as well. So in that case, the chances to come back for like Gilroy, Goldsmith, and Searle to claw back that deficit will surely have to be improved. He's now heading through the chicane now, relatively following the last car line, so he can abuse the curb as much as he wants and then just try and get down that right side as much as he possibly can. The thing is, for the 75-minute race as well, is that this corners as well is also very straining to the tires if you're very far off your line, because it always has relatively long sweeping fast corners, which will really put the pressure into your furthest tires now as he's going to climb up for the hill after that hairpin now, and it's going through the
Yeah.
final few series of corners.
Very much, yeah. No, those curves. It's something that I would say is more akin to RBR, if anything. I believe Richard Burns Racing, correct? The rally car game.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. No, I've seen my fair share of rally car races and RBR gameplay on that. But yeah, no, such an angle, and it's like it's a very sharp curve. And the fact that it's not angled as high too, as a guy who's I tend to kind of eyeball that sort of thing
Oh,
out.
he
As
hit the wall.
Goldsmith has contacted the wall there. Goodness gracious.
It's an
But
improvement.
it is an improvement to second place. That is a heck of a way to finish that out. Goodness gracious. Maybe he was just holding back on us earlier, but that is monumental improvement for Owen Goldsmith. Well done, as it looks like we are back to our original podium of Gilroy, Goldsmith, and Searle. This is,
Still trying to look for any time they could possibly gain. Might have some traffic up ahead, but it's unsure for him. Goldsmith, I wonder just how much he would have improved, because Searle himself is also on a charge of his own. There's a possibility that that barrier mishap that happened earlier could possibly cost Owen a sure enough second place. But we'll just have to wait and see. Come through the third sector now for Cameron Searle.
Yes, and the fact that we've got such a massive, it's all in one stint race ahead of us, as we saw Adam Bent just going a little bit wide there, possibly to allow Searle to pass through and improve qualifying time. But no, the fact that it's all going to be in one stint, it makes me wonder if that's going to include some kind of deviation, because we saw last week we had the 20-minute sprint, we had the 45-minute race. Whether or not that is going to be indicative of some sort of possibly a second sort of trend, as Cameron Searle appears to have improved to second over Owen Goldsmith. Now we've got something interesting here.
Yeah, and it's that barrier that happened at the end for Owen. He knew that if he wouldn't have hit it, he would have been cemented in second place. But it was probably that contact that has cost him very dearly heading into that podium now, as Ashkar Gantantsev slightly improves and just puts themselves up into 11th place. Very good there from the green mean machine.
Yep, and very fitting that the number of choice, forgive me, it was 69 on the Mean Machine, as it's really only fitting. It speaks upon itself, as we see Cav Bud finishing up a lap, still in first in the alumni category, as he's now passed Anton Johansson in the overall standings to improve to fourth. So it's very much possible we could see Cav Bud as a real threat, but then again, being the first place finisher out of the alumni class, he still has to serve that 15-second success penalty. As we look back on Cam Searle in the CDARB livery, the number one car, I mean, that's definitely gotta exude some sort of confidence, that choice of number. We're here on Adam Bent as well, in the 3 car. It's getting held up here by Shaharan Ghani Rashid in the 363 car. So little student versus alumni hold up here. I'm not sure if that's going to be indicative of any possible battles.
Well, it is now, because if he doesn't overtake him soon, I think he may just miss the qualifying time. If he's going to go for another time, he wouldn't be able to do so now. And that's the qualifying over.
Oh, goodness. That is unfortunate. That, oh my goodness.
Williamson has spun. That's going to be his improvements all done and dusted now. His hope now is for Heidemark and Merrifield to not approve, and they do not approve because they're down in the pits. So now right on ball with Goldsmith.
Yeah, like we said before, monumental improvement. I believe it was a 10 position jump from 12th to 6th. But again, that wall and the contact with it was just so unfortunate. And honestly, I believe there could have been a chance to maybe even improve, dare I say, to within striking distance of Gilroy, more so, as Jake Ansel spun out. Hopefully he won't do that as much as he did last week. Back in Cam Searle, who is finishing up the qualifying as well. He is currently just under a second behind Ben Gilroy. I would imagine he is trying to find every last space of time. As a little bit of a skid there, but I imagine he is going to do his very best to improve and get every last fraction of a second he can on Gilroy in the qualifying. Not to mention Searle. Oh, yeah. Not to mention
think
he's
maybe the
got
flag there.
less of a penalty there. And he will not improve
Oh,
as
Gilroy's hit the wall.
Gilroy has... Oh, goodness. It looks like Gilroy crashed there. Oh, my goodness gracious.
It's the tank.
Yeah,
It's a
and...
tank slapper there, so
Yep.
for sure. We've seen that before with Goldsmith. We've now seen it with Gilroy. So that's the people that are places in 1 and 3. So that's already massively huge for everyone in the field, but especially for those three, the ones that are trying to gain any sort of advantage on track as physically possible. And they're the ones that have come off worse of it as a result.
Yeah, and I noticed that we've switched to that that F1 camera there, even though we have yet to set it up, and you've got the wrong handle for me there. Um, uh, Sadly, I guess the talking heads just weren't in the question. But yes, during this small break here, um, I just want to say that it's really cool to see some of the switching out of the old guard and new guard from week to week. And I've got to stop saying a lot. Uh Adam Bent told me that I've got to stop saying a lot. But something's telling me that that might be I'm, I hope I'm not a lost cause for that.
Nah, you're fine. We
No.
were It's a very big situation though here to play. 75 minutes ahead. It's an entirely different beast than a 30-minute and a 45-minute race.
Yep.
Here for a
So
75-minute race, you're going it for more than an entire hour. There's bound to be way more complex sort of pit strategies here at play. And, on top of that as well, of all these penalties at hand. The other question I have as well, because we did have retirements from the previous races over at Monza. So the question is, how many retirements will we see here? Because it is a longer race and it's a lot more punishing than it is at Monza.
I would have to guess and say that there will probably be either 2 or 3 retirements. I'm not sure who they will be, but that is based on the complexity of the track. That is what I am going to guess at. So, going down the top of the field, so it's Ben Gilroy, Cam Searle, and Owen Goldsmith in the top 3, followed by Cav Budd, Anton Johansson, and Max Williamson. 7th through 8th, we have Sam Hindmark, Thomas Merrifield, and Jake Ansel. 10th, 11th, and 12th, we have Ishan Wells, Adam Bent, and Danila Astrakhantsev. And bringing up the rear at 13th is Shaharan Ghani Rashid. And at 14th, James White, who we have not talked about yet this week, but last week in the 45-minute race, started last and made the jump all the way up to 4th place, which was absolutely remarkable. Do you think something similar may be brewing in this?
No.
So the underway. I was expecting a sort of response like that, but not as not as straightforward. But then again, as we have the formation lap underway, I can very much understand why you had to be so brisk with that. Oh goodness, this is gonna be fun.
If you want a more detailed answer, nope.
That yes, the 2022 horror film by the GOAT Jordan Peele.
Who apparently is on attendance here in Watkins Glen. It's gonna be 45 minutes. The penalties that are applied here, you can see in the overlays as well. It'll keep track of just how much the guys will have to claw up ahead as Ben Wills goes ahead and accelerates a lot fast, probably to warm those tires, or maybe he doesn't realize he's in 10th.
Yeah, that's true as well. But Yeah, no, I would honestly have to say, based on what we're seeing from the penalties, I do think that Cam Searle is the fact that he is the fact that he has 10 seconds less to serve than Gilroy at first, and he jumped ahead of Goldsmith. That makes me think he might be a candidate for winning this race, barring any sort of catastrophic happening. And that I think that would do numbers for his standings as well. The fact that Gilroy and Goldsmith each have those penalties to serve. Gilroy more seconds off the clock than Goldsmith makes me think that the top three is going to be a bit more unpredictable, dare I say.
Absolutely. Like, it's going to be really, really interesting, isn't it? Because, like, everything is there to play for. And, well, I was talking about this in the previous race with Monza, as in with the sprint format, there's a lot more concentration, a lot more speed really at hand whenever there's a sprint race format coming here. Here, it's 75 minutes. It's a very long-awaited chess game, but in a track as fast as Watkins Glen, a lot of people will probably not show that patience as such.
Oh
And
yeah.
with Gilroy, Searle, and Goldsmith in particular, both holding some sort of time penalties, the question is whether if they'll ever get if the eagerness or their impatientness to try and claw those seconds up to, break that deficit between themselves and the rest of the field would come into horrors for them. But we'll just see
Yeah.
now as Gilroy awaits for the start.
Yeah. I would hope not, but very, very high speed game of chess that these guys will be playing. And I don't know if I don't know. I'm sorry, Gilroy. I don't know if Gilroy would let the massive target on his back serve as a distraction. But for his sake, I hope it doesn't.
Absolutely. Gilroy's now coming out for the final corner of turn 11 now. It's going to be 75 minutes very soon.
Watkins Glen, let's see what you have for our 14 racers here.
Everything to play for here. The round 2 of the ACC Corsa Competizione BUSR Spring Championship slowly gets underway now as Ben Gilroy has a very good start and it's already nearly coming to come 3 wide now heading down to turn 1. Goldsmith tries to look at his chances but to no avail, and Searle tags along Ben Gilroy, and it's just a little bit slow side by side. There's been relatively clean so far, no incidents, and it's all been clean, and Goldsmith and Searle now going side by side heading through turn 3 and turn 4.
Yep, Searle and Goldsmith were battling a lot last week at Monza, particularly, well, Goldsmith had finished 4th in the sprint race, and I would imagine that had served as the motivation, as well as we see a lot of shifting around in the standings. For the most part, still clean, which is honestly shocking to say given this. Or wait a minute, the 13 car of Max Williamson appears to have gone off track there, and he crashed into a wall there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Williamson was 6th in our qualifying field as we get right back into the action there. But oh my goodness gracious. Yes, as I was talking about though, Goldsmith and Searle were still battling a lot last week. I imagine that is going to continue into this week, considering how close they have managed to stay in the top 3, as focus now shifts to James White, who has jumped up from 14th to 8th. Maybe deja vu is in the works, as he is a bit tangled up there behind Wells and in front of Merrifield as we head into the next turn. Now he's got a little bit of breathing room, at least for now, but he's coming back up behind Wells. And Williamson is now in the pit lane to repair the damage to the front. That is unfortunate for Max. James White now into 5th place, as he might actually be a realistic threat here against the top 4 of Bud, Searle, Goldsmith, and Gilroy.
Absolutely. You could just see that Wells just trying to claw back to the gap that he has by using that NASCAR line, trying to get to the outfield. doesn't really hold much of a benefit though. But for White though, to start all the way back in the position that he is, to climb all the way up into fifth, he is purely a race winner contender. It's unfortunate for Williamson though, who has to come into the pits. It is still only just the first 3 minutes of this long hour, 75-minute race, but there's still an opportunity for him to claw back the points though.
Yep, also as we focus on Shaharan Gayani Rashid, who is 4th place currently in the student class in that McLaren 720S GT3. He has jumped back down to 9th, but he is still in some sort of contention. He is 9 points out of the podium. But getting our focus back to James White. Remember, Gilroy, Goldsmith, Searle, and Budd each have those time penalties to serve. And White finished just out of the podium. And considering that he was also in the alumni class as well, and he did not have a time penalty to serve, I believe that may have been a very advantageous finish for him last week.
Yeah, perhaps, but he also didn't no-show as well for one of the races, so the fact that he started all the way back and then showed his promise back then in that feature race means that he is surely and all but a class contender for the alumni class, and he'll hopefully give Cav Bud maybe a run for his money now as we ride on board with Heinemark now. It's clearly under pressure a bit from Bent, and Rashid up ahead. There's a chance of a Bryn there. He's going to go for the move now. It's a bit of a tank slapper now. Hides out of Shenmark, and Bent has gone off.
Goodness gracious. I guess that's Watkins Glen for you. Goodness.
We see the replay there. It's just not having a look at the brakes there for Heinemark. It's a very... And Bent just spins it off on his own. And that was... Yeah, it absolutely. But I wonder what happened there with Heinemark, because Heinemark just completely missed his braking point and collided into the back of Rashid, and I'm sure Rashid would not be very at all happy with that.
Yeah, no, I believe they kind of got caught up between one another, and then they just got tangled and spun off the track there, as we're looking at Cam Searle, who has dropped back to 5th place behind Owen Goldsmith, who is still being quite formidable despite a 3-second gap behind Ben Gilroy, who is still holding serve in first. He still has a 15-second time penalty to serve for his success, but that is just... I honestly don't know where to take that segue, but as we look back, Searle still battling with Goldsmith. This is not as much action as we had nearly on the first lap of Monza, but it is action nonetheless.
Completely inseparable from Monza, and they look to be completely inseparable here. Look, attention draws back now to Bent now as he makes them dive in the inside of Ashta Kutajev, and it's going side by side now, heading through turn 11. Still going side by side. It's that wall that Bent needs to be very careful of and make sure he doesn't collide, but Kutajev gives enough of a room as they possibly can now as they head through the start-finish straight. Bent with the wire line, maybe hoping to carry enough speed to make that overtake work, but it's a good defensive line though from Danila. And it's going to go, on the inside, they just almost collide. Heading through turn 2, Ben still having a look for a move. Still going a bit side by side through turns 3 and turns 4. He's got enough speed to possibly carry it. He does carry it, and he gets himself up into P11. Really good there from Adam.
Yep, Astrakhansev is still trying to keep a little bit of space behind there. Quite a battle there. Bent does need to be a bit careful considering that apparently memes are quite aerodynamic in terms of getting those seconds around. Focus shifting now back to Anton Johansson as he is behind Thomas Merrifield and Ishan Wells, as we look here at Sam Heinemark, who appears to be I thought this was a replay of an incident, but it looks like he is pretty much isolated here as he is 15th. And what I'm just noticing now, Williamson appears to have retired.
Yeah, that's our first retirement there. Ooh, Merrifield just goes a little bit of a tank slapper now, but that Wills has just blocked the racing line for him. Maybe allow for Johansson to claw up some positions here. Heading through turn 10. Still going up a little bit wide, side by side, down turn 11 again. It's still a very dangerous corner, but everyone's kept it safe, and no one has gone side by side through that corner. Heads for the start finish straight, and it's still the positions to play for P6. I cannot speak my words here. Merrifield goes defensive on Johansson as Johansson tries his luck. And no moves, no dairy moves has gone out there. They both actually go wide. Wells goes wide, and Merrifield will have the advantage now. It's going side by side. I think there's two battles going on here between Merrifield and Wells. They collide just a little bit, and Wells goes a little bit off.
Yep, Johansson and Ansel as well in a positional battle for P8. This is just battles within battles, if anything, and it's not for first place, mind you, but it is still a battle to be had nonetheless. We did not see Ishan Wells racing last week, but he is quite well from what I have seen out of him, as it looks like Merrifield has taken advantage of Wells and gotten into 6th, as we're looking currently at Jake Ansel, who is now a little bit farther behind of the pack, but he still has Jahar and Ghani Rashid to worry about, as this is quite the battle we are seeing. How long will it continue? I am not sure.
It will just end as quickly as you said, because Rashid just went down the inside of Jansel. There's the gun bait side down through second sector. I think Johansson makes it
Ghani Rashid.
Thank you. Oh, there's a bit. Wells has gone off. I think that was a collision between those two. I think it was between Johansson and Wells. It's going to have a replay there. This is at the heel corner. And is it going to be a bit of a... Yeah, it's a collision. That's Johansson's second collision. Right. He did it first with Rashid, and he's done it again with Wells. And certainly, it's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, certainly that should result in a penalty. I believe that would be for Johansson, as Wells appears to be jostling back around. No, it's just the time updating. But we're looking at Jake Ansel, who still battling with Ghani Rashid. And it looks like we've got a battle brewing between Cav Bud and James White for 4th place. Bud was the alumni leader, mind you, and White is in that same class as they're going too wide around the corners. White trying to make a move, but he's still behind Bud as they are heading into the first of those 2 turns there. And looking around here, White is trying to bide his time, make a move around as they get into the first of those 2 chicanes on that corner. And White trying to find a lane, but he is unsuccessful for the moment. Still at Bud's tail end. This is incredible stuff, considering White was at 14th. He has jumped a combined 19 places in 2 weeks in the main events here as they go into the next 2 turns. This is absolutely incredible resilience we are seeing from James White. And mind you, Bud still has a 15-second time penalty to serve to go into a straightaway here. White trying to find a way to get around, but Bud is just holding him off so expertly, as we have seen from him. The best of the alumni are going into the start-finish straightaway here, and the battle, I believe, will continue for quite some time. This is, oh my goodness, there's a bit more to play for than the battles we have seen for the 6th and 8th positions, as White goes a bit wide. He is trying to go and get around there. Is this move going to pay off? It looks like the overtake might be there, and he has gotten around Bud, at least for the time being. What a move there by James White. Goodness gracious. Cav still trying to get around him, and White for the moment holding him off. But is there going to be a lane around here? Very eventful lap we are seeing from Cav Bud and James White, and for the time being, it looks like James White is going to pull away. He goes onto the grass, just a slight drift on there, but the battle still rages on, and Bud might be losing a bit of time there. Goodness gracious, this is, oh my, I don't think I have talked that fast in a broadcast and managed to keep myself balancing on words like that for so long, but that is just how exciting this battle has been between James White and Cav Bud. Amir, you have not said a word in a while, and I understand why, but I'm just going to hand it back to you to see what else we got going on here.
Cool. Anyways, it was a great battle, absolutely indeed. It's turned to now turns to Ansel and Rashid. I think Rashid is still trying to claw it back into sixth that he also lost, but he's just in the midst of a mid-pack. I think it might be the damage that he collected from Janssen, as Ansel tries to make for a move, but Rashid defends absolutely brilliantly. A lot of these drivers, as I must say, have defended absolutely to perfection here in Watkins Glen. It's not too, dirty, but it's all clean and smooth.
That's
And so
true.
I'm sure all knows that, and that's why he's just trying to wait for his time. As slowly we're approaching the 60 minutes to go.
Yep. Yes, as the expression rings true in most sports, for motorsports it applies as well. Defense wins championships, and the defense that we have seen out of all of these racers through the first 15 minutes of this race so far has been superb, as we see Wells and Bent in a battle for 10th place. Oh, these two know each other very well, but do they know each other well enough to defend one another off? As it looks like, we have a slight collision there from Isha Wells, and Connie Rashid went wide as well. And Wells gets back onto the track. What a rejoin that was! Goodness gracious!
What happened to Rashid? Because Rashid has gone off as well. Wells has just simply got caught by pressure, but that was really, really close. Almost joined onto the racing line, and I think Bend had to take really evasive action there. Attention now draws to as Rashid and Wells, both McLarens going wheel to wheel amongst each other. They were both onto the gravel just a mere moments ago, and they're still fighting for positions.
Yeah, that's just how much it matters here. As what do we have here? The
Someone's
53 car. Yeah, Cav. What's going on with Cav Bud at the 53?
Bud's off.
He went sideways. Oh my goodness, what happened there? What happened here? Let's take a look.
That's big because he was trying to chase White, and he had that 15-second time penalty as well. The alumni class leader, he's just gone off on the curb. I think he's accelerated too quickly onto the curb, and he's off between turns 9 and 10, and that's all of the positions that he's gained dropped.
He's going to be kicking himself for that. As we've said time and time again, he is the current leader in the GT3 alumni class. And not to mention getting bested by James White in an absolutely brilliant battle. It's got to sting for him, I imagine. It has got to absolutely sting, as he has dropped down to 8th place. Action now back on Anton Johansson, who is battling Thomas Merrifield, 5th position now. James White, by the way, is 5 seconds off of Cam Searle as well. So he's definitely got some ground to make up, but he's made it back to 4th position in much quicker time than he did last week. So do you think a possible last to first finish is in the works for him?
No.
I guess we'll just have to see how it works out, as we're still following Anton Johansson. And now it's back to Shaharan Ghani Rashid, still with Ishan Wells, as the battle is shifting between them.
Wells just went wide, and that will allow Gashi to go through. That's himself climbing up onto 10th position. These two are going to be on a real hard fight for their lives, and they collide. If collide, I don't think Wells did not come into that corner enough, and Rashid has to take evasive action and drops that place down into turn. I think that was turn 8. It was.
Yeah,
and got a bit of touch in the grass there, out for a turn 9. It's gonna go hell through turn 9, turns 10 and turns 11. It's still gonna be all the things to play for now. Yep. It's Rashid's still gaining though. He is still gaining. Chento draws towards the fight between Chav Bud is now making his comeback now, and his first now opportunity for doing that is now on Jake. Rashid is making the move on Wells. There's another collision out there. I think Rashid doesn't mind.
Another.
Wells has spun on the curb just a little bit.
All I'm wondering right now between Ishan Wells and Shaharan Ghani Rashid is how many penalties are they going to accrue from this? I mean, I imagine there could be a drive-through penalty involved from track limits, potentially. I would imagine. It's just a battle between Goodness gracious. It's just a battle that's still going on between the two of them.
Yeah, yeah, we should. Oh yeah, another thing that has also changed for this race compared to the previous, no live stewarding. The stewarding will host their penalties post-race now. So most of the penalties
Oh,
that we'll have is under assumption as our attention draws back between Bud and Ansel as Bud goes down the inside in what is a really clean move, and he manages to claw up into seventh. Yes.
yep. Gonna be a lot of space there for you know getting that provisional position, and yeah, it looks like we've still got Merrifield and Johansson battling each other for fifth as well as they go into the next and or the final turn of the lap, going into that start finish straightaway. Still keeping it clean for the most part here, as it looks like Gilroy is still comfortably in first, but now the space between him, between Goldsmith, between Searle, between White, they're starting to get distant between one another, as just a massive pull away from the rest of the pack, as it looks like Adam Bent had a little bit of trouble there. Let's take a look, see what happened.
It's the exit out of turn 11. I wonder if it's the same mistake that Ben Gilroy has done in qualifying. Is it going to be involving the... No, he's just spun out on his
Oh,
own. Narrowly misses the barrier, but hits the
good.
other barrier instead.
Oh,
If it wasn't for the
goodness.
concrete blocks that blocks that exit way, he would have been come out unscathed. But now he'll probably have to pit for damages. Yeah, he thinks of it now, and he goes to the pits
Very,
now.
yeah, very convenient place to crash, I might add. And the little indent in
Well,
that track as well, that's kind of impressive in its own way. Action turning
ooh,
back
well,
now to Daharan County Rashid and Ishan Wells as well, still battling these two.
yeah, Rashid just made a really good overtake just on the outline of turn 4, and surely, hopefully, that sets the battle to rest.
Hopefully. But hope can only serve you so far in a race that has been as eventful as this so far. Um, in its own way, not in the way that we've seen the podium, but as we as we look at the POV from Danila Astrakhansev, it has still been eventful from every last aspect of this field. Shifting back now to Anton Johansson, who is still in battle with Thomas Merrifield as they go into turn 1. They're still keeping the it's still kind of closing in. It's still very much back and forth in terms of how much separation is getting between them. But I'm not sure if Johansson's going to be able to make a move unless it is in possibly the chicane sections that we are about to go into. They are getting into that first turn, into that second around. No, it looks like Merrifield is sitting pretty, at least for now.
Yep, it's that chicane in itself that is surely going to be able to catch people off. Merrifield's done really well to maintain his status currently in this race as the best of the rest, and he's surely dragging that BMW to places where it can't imagine being. Johansson has always been looking to try to change that, though. He's been slowly climbing up the field. There's been a little bit ways of ups and downs, but he's more or less recovered fine. And yeah, with 20 seconds between White and Merrifield, it's possible that there will be a fight brewing up here as he's trying to look for the back of him as much as he possibly can. Probably holding for his patience now. No, Merrifield goes defensive very extensively. Johansson tries to go wide. He thought he had enough speed to carry it, but it does it to no avail as it heads to turns 10, and all that advantage is now lost. The gain is now gone up to 3/10.
Yep, and that gain should surely be expanding with every mistake that Johansson makes. But even if Johansson finishes at 6, it'd be a very good finish for him compared to last week. He had 7th place in the sprint last week, and he had 10th place in the main event in round 1. So a 6th place finish, I would imagine, would still be considered an improvement in that McLaren. As we look now to Jake Ansel, who is in the Ferrari 296 GT3, as he is trying to gain some position here against Cav Bud, who did overtake him earlier. But it looks like Bud is just starting to, get more time. Ansel not going to lose sight of the target, though. Ansel had a lot of crashes last week, and the fact that he has not crashed once so far, I hope for his sake. Oh, he did.
Well, Bud.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Oh, I stand corrected. I was going to talk praise about him as a friend, hoping that he would not continue to crash, but unfortunately, it looks like we've been proven wrong.
Absolutely. 100%. But luckily, he's been like fine-ish now, and still 15 minutes left to go. So he's been in an okay position of 8th. He's been well. To be honest with you,
He has.
proven.
Yeah.
Jake, we're proud of you.
Oh, we do.
Ooh.
And
that's
Sam
Hindmark once
Hindmark.
again.
See what happened here. Ooh, looks like a little bit of, drifted right into the barrier. Luckily was, and no, that's still Hindmark as, wait, did he crash again? Oh
Yes.
my god.
Yes,
no.
he did. He did a
Oh,
Vettel.
he didn't crash, but he's
gone wide again.
Gone off the course again. Oh no. Poor guy. Oh no.
I think he needs to pit for repairs.
Yep, he's gone into the pits. Oh no. That is such an unfortunate sequence of events. Poor Sam. Oh my goodness.
Don't demoralize him. You're gonna make him retire.
I'm sorry. I feel bad for him. It's just unfortunate.
Hindmark, if you hear this, we believe in you.
We do believe in you. We hope that you are not going to retire. You seem like a good mate. Maybe you'll get to. Yeah.
We love you, son.
We love you, son. Sincerely, your dad's. Anyways, tangent over.
There, my boy.
As we shift back to Anton Johansson, still behind Thomas Merrifield in the battle for 5th place. It seems like it could be solidified at this point, but never say never. There's still just under 50 minutes left in this race, meaning that we are now a third of the way through as they come into that start-finish stretch. And
White is now half a second to Searle as well, so that's going to be a battle brewing up between those two as well. White's done really well to actually climb up so far, so fast. And they might actually be on the chance for an on-track podium.
Yeah, that you said no to him twice. I think he's gonna take that personally, Amir.
No.
Oh goodness, and
as well.
Oh wait, we've got something brewing with Hindmark SG30. Oh, he sped out of the pit lane? Or no?
Yes, he did. So that's a driver penalty for Sam Hindmark.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Chenji now draws back to the front now anyways. White and Cameron's now going a bit wheel to wheel now. Heading out through turn 9. He's having a look for it. It's not quite to no avail. He's made chances again. But again, Searle defense really greatly coming out for turn 10. Again, with all that grip, all that area now through between 10 and 11 now, making sure to use that area as much as they can, but to not collide with that barrier. It's a art of work that White has perfected down to a T. It's why he's managed to climb so many positions now. And this first sector as well, it shows where he's going to come and find that time closing up now. I think Searle has got no choice but to be defensive here. Coming out for the S's of 3. And then slowly out for 4. You can see just how much speed White is carrying compared to Searle. And he's going to go and make a move. They're heading now down through the back straight. It's going to be the chicane now. Will White have enough speed to make it work?
Not sure, but it looks like they're still battling between each other. White drifting just a little bit, but he is still holding on to that position behind Searle. But Searle now still starting to pull away a bit as they go into the next turn. White has been climbing up so much. We did see mistakes, I believe, earlier. Not sure if he had maybe touched a barrier or something like that, but he did at least draw some gravel. White now closing back in as they go into the next section of the race. Goodness gracious, and it looks like they're still battling it out. White and Searle still locking horns. White wants that podium. I can very much tell he wants that podium. They're going back into the next set of turns. Turn 8 now, a bit sharper here. And White still trying to find a move to get around. She tried to get around earlier, but was unsuccessful. Searle had defended him brilliantly as they're going into the next couple of turns, turn 10 and turn 11. This might be a decider. White going tail to nose here. This is gonna be a close one, it looks like.
Yep, Searle just went immediately over to the left-hand side line. He's really trying to pull out all the defensive maneuvers he possibly can, and White is trying to pull out all of the attacking maneuvers that he can now. It's a masterful piece of both drivers at their craft in their most highest level of racing sportsmanship, shall we say, to say the least, and Searle as well.
Yeah.
White as well, with that masterful save as well, that keeps himself up in contention as well. He's using the back straight now with all of that slipstream. He's going to go for it once again. He failed last time. Is it going to come to a success this time? A bit of a barge between those two. There's a little bit of
Contact!
White will have to go cut the corner in order to save track, and Searle remains up ahead.
Yeah, a bit of a contact there.
A bit side by side, heading out of the outer loop now. A little bit wheel to wheel. White has just gone ahead. That's himself up into on track third.
That is unbelievable there. We saw that Searle had been a bit janky coming into the chicane, but a brilliant save by White to get back on track. As you see, Searle's car was bouncing, just skidding along there. But the fact that White managed to overtake him for on-track third is absolutely brilliant. And it makes me wonder, are Goldsmith and Gilroy next on his hit list?
No.
Yep. Meanwhile, as well, we do have another retirement. Adam Bent in the 3 car has retired, as he had gone into the pits a bit earlier, but he is now our second. And in the pits currently still Sam Hindmark, who is in the race still, but he's got a drive-through penalty that he has to serve as well. As our action is currently shifted on Thomas Merrifield and Anton Johansson, still battling for 5th here, but Johansson is, dare I say, he is starting to, I was going to say he was starting to slip away a bit there, but it looks like he's still holding serve as Merrifield in the eBay, I wouldn't say bargain bin livery, is still holding on to that top 5 position.
It's the BTCC car that could GT3, shall we say the least. Merrifield has done really well to hold himself up into 5th place, I must say. I think he should be fine, more or less, in regards to the on-track position that he holds for 5th. Whether he'll be able to catch up to Searle itself is an entirely different question. But Johansson, I must say, has always been trailing on the back of Merrifield throughout the last 10 minutes or so, and none of them have really either been able to fully grasp or pull away in comparison to each other. So expect them to trade for positions very soon, but it is very clear that Merrifield and Johansson are both equally matched in their respective BMW and McLaren machinery.
Yeah, and we have a 3rd retirement. Sam Hindmark, unfortunately, has retired from the race as well. We believed in him, but I guess he just couldn't go through.
Yeah, I mean, after just being in the pit lane, I think all the faith we had in him was lost.
Yeah, but you know, still very much, you know. Sam, if you're watching this, keep your head up. Just get it ready for next week. Yeah. Oh, really? That's yeah. 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 So our producer Mike has told us if Sam had actually finished the race, he would have gotten points, which is unfortunate to say. But Sam, keep your head up. Get it ready for next week. You'll be fine, man.
Okay, we're telling from our producer Mike that was a joke.
Oh, really?
Have you know, chat? Everyone, they're just ousting me. Nothing more.
Oh, really?
Have you
It's
know,
not
I've been
really
very
cool.
secretly telling them things at the time. And I'm like, this is going to be a fun race to do.
It's just gonna...
Or mildly being roasted.
You shyster, Mike. You absolute shyster. Back onto the race now, as our action is still on Anton Johansson. Still trailing Merrifield. It looks like Merrifield is still safe for the time being. Dare I say, there is now a spot of relative uneventfulness in this race where we have seen so much. We've seen 3 retirements. We have seen countless battles for position, whether it be for the battles for 8th, 6th, and recently the battle for 3rd that we saw between James White and Cam Searle as well. Searle is now 2.6 seconds behind in that regard in the CDA here. Goodness gracious. Yeah, we've starting to pull back a bit, and White, I will remark, has started to close a gap a bit on Goldsmith. I saw earlier he was about 9 seconds behind. Now he is about 8 3/10 out of 2nd place. So with 40 minutes left in this stream, realistically there could very much be a battle for 2nd, or dare I say on top for Gilroy. But
No.
Gilroy so far has not given up that fastest lap, as it looks like Johansson will roll into the pits.
Undercut now, so the pit window optimal is not until a couple of laps later. Rashid is also planning to do the same thing, so I think they're trying to undercut each other or they're trying to undercut the entire field. As Rakansis, Vansel, Bud, and Merrifield, perhaps. But these are the first actually people that are going to have their first scheduled pit stops. Wells has done theirs already a couple of minutes beforehand, so we can slowly expect the others to swiftly follow suit now, as slowly we're approaching the halfway mark here of the Watkins Glen race.
Yeah, slowly, but by all means, surely, our focus still on Danila Astrakhantsev in that meme machine. By the way, it is just, I cannot say enough praise about it. You know, it's just absolutely great seeing that, seeing the Magusta face coming through on those right turns as well. As now, Owen Goldsmith has pulled in for his pit stop. So, provisionally for the time being, James White is in 2nd, but that very much could change. Could see a bit of a cut there, as Goldsmith, he very much could serve out his 10-second time penalty in the pits as well. Not sure if that would be optimal, but... And as I say this, Ghani Rashid has a drive-through penalty. Stop go 30. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be really big to add time, and I think that will probably allow for Wells maybe to have a chance to claw back some positions for them. Yeah, actually, it's just all in the back of him now, actually, so now we'll actually put Rashid all the way down to the back of the field, down in P11. But nearly around half the grid so far is pitted now, and the others haven't. So we shall see where else everywhere else goes. I think Goldsmith served his time penalty.
Yep, it looks like he has. I no longer see the 10 seconds on there. So yeah, very much a smart decision there, considering that 3 racers above him have time to serve. As we look to the current back of the pack now, Ishan Wells, but as it's been said before, Ghani Rashid has that stop-go 30 to serve, so that should put him in the top 10. I mean, not saying really much considering that the current pack is at 11, but hey, finishing the race or even getting so far is nothing to be ashamed of. As it looks like James White and Cam Searle are both in the pits as well. We saw Merrifield, who is now getting out of the pits, Danilo Astrakhantsev in the pits as well, and it looks like we have three that still have yet to get a scheduled pit stop in, and those three are Ben Gilroy, Cav Budd, and Jake Ansell.
Cav Budd's done well to recover. You can see that he is in fourth after that crash that he had before, so it'll put him more or less provisionally where he was before. However, with the 15-second time penalty, it means he will definitely drop some places. But luckily, because it's all been spread out now, past the halfway point, he should be able to more or less climb up those positions in a similar way in faction that he's done before.
Yep, Ansell is...
the White, I think, is slowly going to come out to the pits. Question now for Ben Gilroy is that the only real challenge that he really has is between himself and James White.
Oh, so Johansson's undercut has worked.
That's huge because he's
that
always
is very
been
much
back
huge.
of Merrifield. Yeah, he's been on the back of Merrifield for 15 laps or so, and because Merrifield will have the better advantage tire, which means that he will need to try and find a way to claw his way back up to it. So that means that for White to undercut on Gilroy, that means that he has a very good chance of maybe potentially climbing back that position. In fact, Goldsmith has just overtaken White. So yes, that undercut has worked.
Oh, goodness gracious. That is very monumental. That is... So, I don't really fully understand the chess match of scheduling pit stops, but seeing this in action, though, as well, and how it can work out in spades for racers like this is just so great. As we take a look, still James White, 4th place for the time being, but he is gaining time on Owen Goldsmith. I do sense a bit of a battle brewing. White has already taken out some formidable opponents in Cav Budd and Cam Searle. Can he take down Owen Goldsmith?
I think Gilroy and Budd are both trying to pit as late as they possibly can. They probably will know they have a lot of time to lose because of that time penalty they have in the pits, but they know that if they do it later, they'll be able to use the prime tire up to their advantage. And for White and Goldsmith, however, they would have a lot weaker tires come the closing stages of Watkins Glen. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how all this will turn out, as White and Goldsmith will have, once again, another duel just similar to 20 minutes ago when that was for P3. It's for P3 this time, but potentially, provisionally, for P1.
Yep, it could be very much, considering that Gilroy and Budd still not pitted yet. I will also take a moment to say in chat, Sam, I see you in chat, man. You gave it your all, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards for you, man. You know, shout out. You did your best, man. Just keep your head up. Action still unfolding. Yep, we believe in you, our son. Still looking at the battle between White and Goldsmith. White is within a half second as they go into this next turn of very, very angled, nearly 180 degrees worth as they are going into this straight. Do you think White should be able to make a move? I know the answer will probably be no, but I'm hoping he will prove that wrong, as he is still... Was that an indifferent response?
No, it was just more like of a don't care response.
That's indifference. That's indifference,
No,
Mike.
No, it's not. It's actively not caring. White is hovering over the back of Goldsmith, though, coming down to turn 11. It's gonna be another chance for him down to the first sector. It's been really good for it. It's how he overtook Cameron Searle last time round, so he's going to hope to try and do more or less the same over here. It's going to be through turns 1 and then over through turns 2 and 3. He's just going to pour the back of the Porsche as much as he possibly can now, down through the back straight now. He's actually got a very good run out of turn 4, slightly lifting it off though, but he still has that slipstream advantage. Looks for the left, now to the right. He's going to have the inner corner now, heading through the chicane. Doesn't have his nose in quite in there, and he has to concede. Goldsmith still lead, heading now down through turn 5.
He'll certainly get his chance in future bouts through that chicane if this battle still holds up, I will say. If he was able to get Searle on the last one, who, by the way, has served his 5 seconds, he should be able to get Goldsmith. Meanwhile, Ben Gilroy, not only is he in the pits, he has served his 15-second penalty as well. I was about to bring that up, but this battle between Goldsmith and White has been quite interesting, to say the least. As
he's serving it now, so we don't know exactly where it's going to come up just yet, because of the pit limit. Well, so it's going to be a really nerve-wracking for Goldsmith and for White especially, because White's not all that climbing now, but Goldsmith is right in his way. Might hinder his chances for that lead.
Who knows? It could be a battle to the very end as well, considering how White has been able to hold on to so many battles for position. This could be just another one of those. As
mixing it out for turn 11 now. I think he's going to come out to the pits very shortly. Yep, Gilroy's coming out to the pits now. That's the advantage reduced, but he still holds the lead.
That's true. He holds the lead, you know, we've seen White still in a very fast car. If he was able to catch up to, if he was able to catch so many positions, you know, who's to say that he can't catch Gilroy, as the lead is very much reduced, as you said. But as they come towards the chicane, you just wonder what is going to happen with White and Goldsmith.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, it's entirely sure how White will feel. It is down to only just 8 seconds though. I don't know entirely if White does overtake, if he'll be able to catch up to Gilroy, because those tires are not quite optimal, but White's and Goldsmith's definitely are. So keep an eye on that timing tower up in the top left and see if that gap ever reduces ever so slightly, and it will be all the cards to play for that lead.
Yep, I will very much be keeping my eyes not necessarily glued to it, but I will keep a close eye on it, as we still have quite the battle between White and Goldsmith. Honestly, I feel like whoever could win this battle could very much overtake Ben Gilroy or the potential win. Khaled's still the only race yet to serve the penalty. He is first on field, but that very much changed with the way the pit stop will go.
White's still over the back of Goldsmith. It used to be so easy last time out. So easy last time around. It's going to be a lot harder. Goldsmith has just hit the wall. Hit the wall out of turn 11. It's White's best chance now, heading for turn 1. It's absolutely hindered Goldsmith's chances. Same in qualifying, and now it's going to be the same because he loses that podium place now to White.
Oh, unfortunate. I guess it was an indication of things to come. Deja vu from Goldsmith, as White, as we've said, has quite the ability to avoid the wall here at Watkins Glen, but that is just poetic, but unfortunate at the same time. As they come into this chicane, is Goldsmith going to have a chance? It looks like no. White is pulling away out of that chicane, and he might be safe here. He might very much be safe. White also has a 9.5 second gap between Gilroy, but White has speed and he knows how to drive efficiently out of these turns. There is a realistic chance, I feel, that he could catch Ben Gilroy, as we have just under 29 minutes left in this race.
I thought you're American. You meant to root for Ben Gilroy because he's running that American power.
Oh, I'm just a sucker for an underdog. What can I say?
A German? Really?
Could be. Could very much be, as Goldsmith is now a second.
Clearly top order too.
Goodness. Yep, Goldsmith is now a second behind James White, as White, as you know, considering he managed to catch some of these racers during various stretches, I can very much say that Goldsmith,
Oh,
unless...
Johansson has gone off.
Oh!
That's big.
Yep.
That's really big.
Oh,
It was
weaving
really
through the
affected him. And he lost
Pirelli.
that position now to Merrifield. That was the undercut that he tried to take to his advantage and led ahead of Merrifield. But it was that slight lockup breaking on that grass, which means that he had to take evasive action and could see that position over to Merrifield. Not lost for him, still be able to catch up. Okay, according to our producer Michael, he said the barriers are hard, which
Yeah,
thanks,
that's...
I guess.
Thank you. Thank you, very cool. That's true. That's true. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
It's called hard tires.
Hey, yep. Anyways, as we see the action between... we still are focused on Anton Johansson, who I would imagine that little detour is gonna be quite nagging at him, I would imagine. As actually, taking a look here, it looks like Goldsmith and Searle are closer to one another, as we might have another battle brewing. This not for as much as we've seen previously, but certainly could be a battle nonetheless. Could be a battle for podium position, depending on how much the advantage will be reduced for Cav Bud when he finally takes his pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still all here to play for. Slowly going down to
4/10
yeah,
up the
yeah.
last
It's
lap.
actually closing up, so that's
Yeah.
really impressive. 4/10 is fast.
That
And
is.
look, yeah, you can see on the timing board as well. White is actually slowly to. White is actually about
10
10 seconds
seconds.
away, so that's now 2 seconds from what we've had previously after coming out the pits. So Gilroy is definitely pulling away from White, so that means I'm pretty sure Gilroy will have another win to his name.
I guess that 15-second penalty was just not enough. I mean, what do we have to make it 30 seconds or something? But
Good. 2 days.
oh, it could. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just a reminder, the success penalty system, if you get first place, you'll get an extra 15 seconds up to a maximum of 45 seconds. So if Ben wins this one, which probably is going to happen, he's going to have a 30-second penalty versus what will be probably a 20 or 15 second with Owen. So it'll be very interesting to see how it goes for the championship this time around.
Oh, so these cumulate then?
Yes.
Goodness, that adds a whole nother element then. Fraud in chat is saying, "Yo, can we get eyes on SGR? Or are we just biased to the top 7?" Like, he wants eyes on Ghani Rashid, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure if we can get that going here, as we do have eyes now.
We understand that, all right? Here's your Sunny Rashid fan service.
As chat's goat races around here, I will say Cav Bud, I believe he has pitted.
That's funny. He made a mistake as soon as we had our cameras on.
That's great. Yep, Cav Bud in the pits has served his 15 seconds, so that means James White will be up to second now.
Wow.
So 11 seconds away. He is losing time though on Gilroy, so barring anything catastrophic, James White will finish second.
I mean, very impressive for him, but it's not first.
It is not first. It is, I believe, it would be first in the alumni class, because Ben Gilroy is a student and James White is an alumni. Not to mention, it would be he's got 3 positions ahead of Cav Bud as well. Also note Goodness gracious, I can't speak. Also, worth noting, Anna Foster and Charlie Green are not in the race, and Adam Bent has retired. So there could be a realistic chance that James White could be a contender for the lead in the alumni class after the race. I do have the standings on in my second window as well. James White currently has 20 points in the standings. Cav has 33 points to his name in the alumni class. Looking at the action here, it looks like Johansson and Merrifield are going action for 5th place here, as the gap has greatly reduced after the detour that Johansson had to take around the barriers a couple laps back, as they are going now into turn 8. Yes, that's turn 8. And Johansson just staying around. Merrifield trying to use every defensive move he can. Johansson's trying to attack, and it looks like Johansson went a little too wide there, potentially. No, he is still right on Merrifield. Lost just not a half a second, but a fraction of a second. As they are going into turn 11. It looks like Merrifield is going to be safe, unless somehow... And it looks like there was contact with Johansson on the wall. So Merrifield's 5th place position is...
looks to be secured in this case, because that wall really does lose time coming through that mid straight now. Head through for turns 1 to 2, through the S's of 3 and 4, as he's going to have to use the slipstream over to his advantage, but we'll have to see if that chicane is going to do any wonders to let that McLaren be able to catch up to that Beamer. The McLaren finished as high as outside of the podium last time over in Monza. It's been a little bit less of a weaker stride for the 720S GT3 car, that the lowest is currently in 6th.
Oh, really? Well, I will say, though, Adam Bent, currently in our chat, said, boys,
Round
I've
the
managed to
outside
take...
goes Johansson, and he claims back Merrifield's 5th position.
As I was
have
about
to
to say
interrupt you
that.
there, because it was an amazing move that I
It
possibly
was,
could
though.
not even fathomably speak. Anyways, you can continue. We can have a look at the
Yes.
replay and it's slow-mo too, because it was just absolutely glorious.
Let's take a look then.
Yes, that was a
what
great
a move.
move.
That was
That was a great move.
beautiful.
Anyways,
so yes, Adam has said that I've managed to take a nap in the time it took to note I retired. And I will say, for the record, I did note that you had retired about, I want to say, between 1 and 2 minutes after the fact. If you didn't catch that, apologies, but I very much remember noting that you retired before looking at the standings. And I believe, Mike, did you say that we have had a mid-race interview with Sam Hindmark? It's coming.
Mike says it's coming, not us.
Yes, Mike does say it's coming, as we are now joined by Sam Hindmark, one of the racers who unfortunately had retired early in the race. Sam, how you doing?
Oh, mate. Oh, last couple of races have been crap. Excuse the language.
It'll be all right, man. It'll be all right. I mean, at least you've got the commentators rooting for you.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I downloaded the track yesterday. I'm very surprised I did so well in qualifying.
The fact that you did, though, and not to mention, you were not even the first car to retire. You did have Max Williamson and Adam Bent retire before you did, if that's any consolation. By the way, yes, Adam, that is retaliation for your little remark in chat, so now we're even, bud.
I will say, whoever I absolutely took out at the start, I do really apologise.
Yeah,
My brakes just didn't work.
Yeah, that's good. It's always great to be able to make amends for incidents like that as well. But yeah, no, Sam, you've got this in the bag. Just reload for next week if you are racing. You've got
mate,
this, man.
Anything can happen at Brands Hatch in the wet.
Yeah. I'm not actually. That might be the one I might be sitting out for. I'd have to double check on that. But yeah, no. I'm glad you're at least. I'm glad you're at least taking that "it is what it is" mentality.
No, I'm being optimistic. It's still early in the season.
That's great. That's yeah. And I would be the same way if our roles were reversed. I will admit.
What's the race looking like? I've been keeping up a little bit.
Yeah, well, James White has gotten into second place. We still have a battle between Anton Johansson and Thomas Merrifield, which, by the way, it's going through the chicane. Merrifield's drifting off, and he has crashed into a barrier as we check in on that. Oh, my goodness. He's going to be attempting a rejoin.
Sounds like you're doing this because you made him crash.
Oh.
You're nothing to has ever come to this commentary box.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Oh god, that car is totaled.
Oh gosh, that's yeah.
That's undrivable. That's undrivable. He's actually messed up his suspension.
Oh no.
Look at the windshield.
Oh my god.
It looks like a used stock car wreckage sale out of New York in Watkins Glen.
God. Oh no. Oh no. It just
I think that's him done.
Worse.
That's Thomas retired.
Yeah, yep, Thomas has retired. Oh no. All that battling he did with Anton. Oh man. That's unfortunate for Merrifield. That is very much unfortunate. But he still had quite a few battles out in there, and yeah. Goodness. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious, though. Looking back at the action as well, it looks like we have Ishan Wells and Danila Astrakhansev in a somewhat of a battle for 8th, as Astrakhansev a little bit of a skid as they are heading into turns 10 and 11. Astrakhansev in that meme machine livery that I've talked so much praise about as well, as it looks like Owen Goldsmith is coming up on them behind. And Goldsmith, another contact with the wall.
Thanks, Ozzy. That was your fault.
What? What?
Commentator's curse.
Commentator's curse. No!
He hit the wall.
No.
He hit the bloody wall again.
I guess it really is like that. Oh my goodness gracious.
Maybe because
this is only my second gig and it's already hitting me. What the heck?
Maybe because you didn't say magenta once.
Oh.
By the way, chat, this is only a third way through the season. We've got another 2/3 to go.
We do. That's right, we do. Oh.
All the viewers, I apologize.
Oh.
Yeah, we love you guys. Well. We love you. Just as much as Doom loves the damn gravel.
Astra Kutazev goes off. She's been drifting all the way throughout and has now lost the position provisionally to Goldsmith now.
I'm sorry, Doom. It's not Dirt Rally. It's ACC. Keep it straight, bro. Keep it straight.
Chat is saying SGR up to 10, though. Chat's goat has reached 10th place.
More
dare I say, it's as if Luigi has won by doing absolutely nothing. God. Yep, indeed, as more obligatory fan service being shown. Oh, what even is recovery?
Look at all the cinematic shots of a driver that is 2 laps down. It has been unfortunate for him, though. He's been really well in the midst of a mid-pack, but he's been really, really unfortunate in the closing stages, and as a result, he's now been a meme to the chat and to us.
He's behind the meme machine as well. You'd
Sharain,
wonder if
if you're hearing this, you're also our son. We take you in.
also, no, your chat, son. Cameron Yalchin, even after being sabotaged, my goat stands.
He's my driver of the day.
And
Wait,
it
Merrifield's
looks like
back out.
Merrifield's out of the pits.
What the hell?
He's still in it. I'm astonished.
Flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. What happened?
my-
Did eBay send him a new car?
I would assume he did. It looks like there will be a battle involving Kashar and Caddy Rashid.
I didn't know eBay Automotive started selling whole GT3 chassis now.
Yeah, and in record time as well.
Yes, can I please have a BMW M4, please? Give me... Yeah, I'm sorry, I broke the bonnet. Can I get another one? Oh yeah, 20 grand. Oh,
Yeah, can I get an F-35 Raptor, please, delivered to my driveway?
F-35?
F-35 Raptor.
Yeah, get yourself a Lightning, bro. F-22s,
Nah.
they're not even selling to you. Actually, they'll sell to you, they won't sell to me.
Maybe just an Apache.
Helicopter?
Yes, a helicopter.
We're going to
Fair
turn
enough.
bowling at the Glen into blowing up the Glen.
Bombing the Glen.
Oh, God. Right, let's not give anyone any ideas.
All right. Not to say that hasn't already happened.
Wait, it has?
Yeah, we've had
yeah,
3
Highton
cars
Mark.
retired.
Highton Mark bombed Shahid in a couple of corners ago.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, back to the. Can we get back to the? I don't want to say back to the meaningful races because I don't want to anger chat. They've already been decided on SPR the GOAT.
No, because Merrifield's actually catching up to Gani Rashid, so it's going to be interesting to see these two have a very slow fight. In fact, it is the closest between 2 cars that we have. The other one is being between.
We have Johansson and Blythe at 3.5 seconds.
We've been told we're told it's a 2-lap. We've been told it's 2 laps down, but ignore that, chat. It's for the lead of the race. Just use your imagination.
Anyway, yes. Ben Gilroy is pulled away to 15.5 seconds ahead of James White as well. So with 10 minutes left to go in the race, I think it's safe to say that Ben Gilroy is going to repeat as champion this week. But
Unless if he commentators curse bottles it again.
oh my gosh, I didn't even. I just forgot about that. 27-second lead then. Goodness.
Okay, we've been told by our producer that he's got a 27-year lead, which is rather impressive because it's only been 75-minute race.
I'm gonna go insane. Fraud is center.
That's a Mustang, not a DeLorean.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Fraud is accusing Ben Gilroy of using AI to drive a race. That is an insane take.
It's not Forza Motorsports.
Right.
AI
Do you
is
know
taking
what? I'm
over
going
the
to
road.
unearth something, right? So, the first championship Ben Gilroy did, I think the last championship we had, he did something like, what was it? He did something like 20, no. He did something like 30 hours, no, it was 20 hours on track driving for the first round of the championship. So I think we had a Monza back in, I think it was it would have been, this was summer last year. So data analyst guys, yeah, I have 5 brain cells and they all try to work together. Anyway, we had a tool which allowed us to see how many laps everyone did. Right, I'm gonna unearth this thing. Because by the way, this is we're going deep. This goes deep.
Oh man, deep into the archives.
Right.
Oh god. 8 minutes to go. We're diving deep into the archives, baby.
Yeah, we've got to that part of the show, everybody. Oh my god.
Plot twist, SGR and Gilroy swapped accounts. Shut
Oh
your
my
mouth.
god.
My goat is too humble for the recognition. That is... Oh my days, that is insane. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna miss not being able to do this next week. I should call in, but I'd rather not.
Oh my god,
Oh!
Cav Bunches went wide! Out of turn 10! Oh my word! We're gonna have a look at that replay because that's the most interesting thing that's happened in the past 10 minutes.
That's incredible. Oh man.
Whoa! Oh my word! Holy moly!
Right.
Goodness! Goodness gracious!
Right.
Days.
Anyways.
So Ben, in practice, did 142 laps completed for the first race that he did. So 142 laps, and just for perspective, each lap is around 2 minutes.
Oh my.
I'll let you do the maths on that one.
That's so okay. So about 2 minutes. You said how many laps again? 140.
So right. So his average lap, because we could bring this one up. His average lap was around about a 48. So 148.
So that would be 108 seconds.
Yep.
Right. Times
142.
142. So I'm dividing that by 60. Okay, and then I'm dividing that by 60. Or no. Goodness gracious. Wait. Hold on. I'm just my math.
Good overtake by Chav Buddy. Gets himself up into 5th. After that overtake from Johansson, meanwhile, Ozzy does math.
Yep. Sorry, that's just something I tend to do.
We're gonna have a look at that replay there while he was doing math. You
buy.
could just see how beautiful that was at the boot corner. Oh wow, Ozzy was indeed doing math and not paying attention.
I'm sorry, I was too focused on the sidebar that our producer Mike has put up. So if I'm going down, so is he.
Did you know like how much meme material that was whenever you just keep constantly commentating about you trying to figure out how to multiply? Meanwhile, we've had a position change which could possibly be for the alumni championship.
Story of my life, I would have to say in my defense.
You were unapologetically American. Never stop. Anyways,
oh no.
That'll be the only overtake we'll have for the remaining 5 minutes, so go ahead and do your math.
It's about 4.25 hours of just on track.
Yep.
And that's just practice. So for one round.
Yeah. For one round.
This guy is very much passionate about driving. And
he's
showing it now.
Forwards as well. Yeah. Anyways, as my attention is now focused back on the race, so the audience at home knows that I am no longer invested in the sidebar. Thank you very much.
Actually, we can't chat saying about if it ain't SGR, it's not interesting. We're getting a lot of SGR ultras on here, so I guess our attention should be back on
Kenny
Rashid, which is still ahead of Thomas Merrifield. May I add, as we can slowly see. Ooh,
as
nice.
the Bible says, Glaze SGR, or you're not cool. Some dude 116.
Some dude. Oh, look at that lane change! Whoa, that was impressive.
Oh, lane change! Oh my God! This is what Tony Romo does anytime Josh Allen takes a single step in American football.
This is what any golf commentator does when Tiger Woods is on the course.
This is what Tom Brady did last night when Patrick Mahomes lost the Super Bowl.
Oh, he did another move again! Oh!
I'm gonna have to take a lap proverbially after this stream is done.
My word.
Oh.
Gary Rashid is like the Philadelphia Eagles, the ultimate underdog, and always comes out on top.
If it actually came out that he and Ben
Oh my god,
Gilroy
another
switched
overtake.
to-
That's between Ansel and Wells.
Oh,
As that goes out of turn 1 through turns 2 and 3.
I believe they're the same VC as well, too. Yes, they are. So there's probably some chatter between them.
Perhaps. My code clears Merrifield. I mean, he would have cleared Merrifield anyways, even if Merrifield overtook him. So 2 laps down. Come on.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Merrifield's car did become snub-nosed, so... Oh my goodness. If Ben Gilroy wins the next race, I'll insist on checking to make sure he isn't cheating. You know what? I'm
Oh my god!
to...
Gadney Rashid is in the pits!
Really? He's in the pits? Who could have ever seen that coming?
Oh my word!
Wait, no, there's no way he is. Is he actually?
He is. He's actually retiring.
Are you kidding me? Wait, let me see this.
No, we've braced you for the last 30 minutes. And you're retiring. Don't do this to us, come on. We've already had Sam.
I'm gonna laugh so hard. I'm gonna laugh so hard if it...
No, he's not.
Crisis averted.
No, he's making a statement. He's making a statement.
He's making a statement.
Look, there's Goldsmith.
If he actually defends against Goldsmith, oh my god.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
he's got tires on, so he's definitely going for the fastest lap of the race, which is actually really important because the fastest lap entitles to 1 extra point.
Oh, that's
so
true.
For Gani Rashid to do that, for 1.43.9 is the record that he needs to beat in order to ensure that he gets it. It's completely doable for him on completely optimal tires and a low fuel tank as well, unless if that Gilroy time is too fetched for him to carry, as he's now all over the back of Ansel now. Clock is slowly ticking down with 30 seconds left to go.
Adam Bent has said, on God, Oscar nomination for standard pit stop.
He's not even going to get the fastest time.
If he actually does, that will be impressive.
Oh, he can't. He can't because he just acted the pit row. He needed another lap to do it. So that was... So he just mistimed it just only by only a minute now. We're telling from our producer it's fine. Oh yeah, because the leader needs to cross the line first. Thank you for reminding me.
FaceTime with the GOAT.
Yellow flag actually over. It's Cav.
Cav Bud has crashed.
He spun out of turn 1.
What?
He spun out of turn 1, all on his own.
Cav.
And he's stuck.
Can we add a minute extra? They said.
He lost 5th. He
lost 5th to Adam Johansson. Oh no!
On the final lap. On the
final lap.
And that's gonna put his charge all in jeopardy for him. Really, really unfortunate there for Bud. Anyways, Chinta draws up to back now. The timer has now finished, so Gani Rashid, my bad, is going to try and go for the fastest lap now. We're going to see if it all pays off now. So he's going to use the slipstream of Ansel to make the most of it as possible. He's going to go defensive. He's going to ruin his chance now.
Oh no! Oh.
That's actually he should be Stewart's bad him.
Jake Ansel is too much of a threat to our country and our bomb him.
The leader is slowly coming out for the final quarter now. It's gonna be another dominant Ben Gilroy display. Wins at
he's
Monza.
crashed into
Wins over. He wins over at Watkins Glen, brings the Ford Mustang to 3 wins in 3 races. Really good display there from Ben. Easily extends his championship lead once again. White, another phenomenal display all the way from the back of the grid. It's a bit of a lesser field though, but he still did very well to finish off in an astounding P2. And
Yes.
Goldsmith, best of the rest, beats Cameron Searle, his internal enemy, and finishes off for third for Rowan.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, and I will say, chat is
He's overtaken him. Is it going to be a fast lap for him?
Oh.
Oh, he's only overtaken him with the 2 quarters left to go.
Oh, Ansel
Ansel's
might have
trying-
got. Well, Ansel is a
Ansel's
lap
trying to
up.
look for the move back as the flares rise up as Kenny Rashid tries to cross the finish line. As our attention now back towards Cameron Soul, who finishes up in P4. I don't think Gani has made a fast lap enough.
Yep. Goodness gracious. I think chat is going to want to throw Jake Ansel into the nearest volcano.
Hey guys, can we not give the go 30 seconds for speed in the pit lane?
Simply. He says simply after the. He was a lap down. Adam is right. He was a lap down. Oh. Oh,
That's
days.
incredible.
Anyways,
Honestly,
yes. I will say
that
though,
was-
James White going from 14th to 2nd is he outdid himself last time. Or no, wait, he started 18th to it was 18th to 14th?
He undid himself.
Or no.
He
Yeah.
gained less. He gained less here. So it's
That's
actually
right.
an unimprovement. So he can't be driver of the day.
Well, he wasn't last both times. So from 2 last place grids, he has gone up a total an average of 13 positions in each race.
That's interesting.
That is
Anyways,
interesting.
following the top 3 of oh boy, Gilroy,
White
my
and
mind
Goldsmith.
is so wonky. Jesus.
You've
Goldsmith,
been
White,
brainwashed by
and Gilroy.
SGR.
It's the SGR. SGR's your real winner, guys, alright? But no, Gilroy comes off in a really dominant display of action. He's gone for a strategy which was not optimal, but he still managed to pull it off and managed to capture another significant win for that Ford Mustang. And White, who's started all the way back in 15th, really, even though if he didn't have those drivers ahead had those time penalties, he still did absolutely superbly well to claw himself back up into 2nd position. And I guarantee you, he would have done it even if they didn't have those penalties.
Oh yeah. It's
And Goldsmith properly redeemed himself after having the worst sort of the time penalties now to finish up in 3rd. So another good display from him overall. Honestly, I must say, Ozzy, it was absolutely incredible. My voice is hurts.
Oh my gosh. I was crying a little bit earlier just from the sheer hilarity of all of
Absolutely.
this. This is just oh my god. Yeah, this is this is pod racing. This is pod racing, baby. This is absolutely really good stuff. But yeah, I'm at this moment I'm currently looking through some of the spreadsheet stuff as well, seeing I mean the stewarding is going to come post race obviously. Our producer Mike, I believe is going to be stewarding this if I remember correctly.
Yeah, just about. I mean, it's been a very interesting race, of course. I think it's going to be interesting on the how much the penalties will actually affect the final positions, but I think in the end we will see how it goes overall. I mean, it's hard to give you a sort of opinion, but I think we should, in the meantime, I think we should get some interviews on, shall we?
Yes, we should
Right.
very much.
Starting off with 3rd place, it's
Owen
been someone
Goldsmith.
that has been really well to claw himself up into 3rd position. He was used to be down as 5th, but now more or less has never been on the contention for the podium and beat Cameron to it as well throughout the race. So Owen is our first one to start off with. Hey, Owen.
Hello.
Hello.
Second consecutive podium for you over at Monza, and it's now over at Watkins Glen. It was another hard-fought podium for you. How do you feel?
Exhausted. I feel like I've gone cross-eyed. That's probably staring at a monitor for so long. No, it felt good. Watkins is a personal favourite track of mine. I absolutely loved it in my Ferrari from past seasons, as well as other leagues. Porsche, brand new car to drive. It's not real limited as a track, but there was definitely some parts that were sketchy. I mean, you saw me go off at one point. Probably that was a moment. I had a few moments through the chicane, but yeah, no. Apart from that, it was good. It was just that over time it just slows down a little, and you can't really drive it on the limit consistently, and pray it sticks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the battle that you had with James, which turned out to have been for second place in the grand scheme of things. What was it like going against him like that?
Yeah, no, I mean he's a good friend of mine, and I've raced him, and I've known him for ages. But no, he was just straight up quicker. I do believe he came from the back, and it was a brilliant job of the success penalty, kind of showcasing its job. Really, just kind of balancing out the field a bit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I held him for a few laps, but that was really all I could do. I couldn't really make any significant pullaways or inroads with the pace because we were fairly evenly matched and close. Really, I just didn't really know how to like switch on. I guess the right
Yeah.
words at the start of the stint and just try and miss it. But yeah,
Yeah, no, but hon even if you lost the battle to James, maybe you'll be able to get him back later on at some point. You know, still only in the first third of the season, you've got 4 races left,
yeah,
4 weeks of them at least. But no, I like with last week, you should not be ashamed of getting a 3rd place finish. I mean, sure, it was a position down from last week, but we take those, right? We take those.
oh yeah, and especially if based just my time races that are hanging on by thread at times.
Yeah, you're talking
Yeah,
a lot.
the hardware channel. BUSR knows. Yeah, you know.
Uh,
Yeah.
Right. Um, you still sound like a
Oh, sorry.
you
You do as well.
No, no, it's
sounded
fine.
like a robot momentarily,
Sorry,
but
Discord
It-
is
It's the
Yeah.
Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
right.
You were, Owen, you were talking about how this you felt a bit tired. This was partially given because of the 75-minute for race format. Come next race at Watkins Glen, being another sprint format, you've done really well back in Monza. Do you expect another double podium coming there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping so anyway. Brands is a good one. I believe the last time I went there I was somewhat competitive and quick, and it really suits the Porsche with its technical layout and not really too much high speed. So yeah, fingers crossed. I should be able to remain focused and yeah, hopefully that gap towards the front isn't as big as we saw it today.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much,
very
Owen.
much. And you have yourself a good one, AO, and keep up the good work. And let this serve as motivation, you know, just like last week.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Cheers, guys. Appreciate
Yes.
it.
Yeah, cheers, man.
All the best.
All right, James White, maybe.
Oh,
All right, is this James White or is this Angus Fender?
no, this is the official.
Okay,
That's
the
it.
official. James, another incredible comeback from last place, this time to second. Not to mention you had some incredible battles with Cav, with Cam, with Owen as well. How do you feel after all of that, man?
I mean, it's always a task going up the grid. I mean, lap 1 was crazy. That was just, I think it was P5 at the end of lap 1. But all the battles from there on were really good. And I'm good friends with all of them. So just like when I caught up to them, you know, sitting behind, having a nice little battle, longing them out a little bit, just for the fun of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good race. That car, I mean, I'm really bad in the Porsche.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Owen in our interview with him did give you some praise as well. You know, in that battle, you know, you were just simply the faster car at the end of the day. But, you know, do you think potentially in the future that you have what it takes to catch Ben Gilroy?
yeah, I mean, it's an
Do you,
age-old question going back seasons, isn't it, really?
oh,
Yeah, I mean, on the right day, yeah.
yeah. Not
But
to
I
mention,
kind of have to
yeah.
default back to a car that I know to have that pace. He's really
Yeah.
quick in his own right. He's very quick.
Which
Mm,
car are you? Which car? Well, may I ask what car that you feeling going to? Because next week
I
we've
mean,
actually opened it up for a new car.
yeah. So, I mean, I could just be boring and go for the M4. But I don't think anyone wants to see me in that car again. So
again.
probably the Aston, as it's similar, but you know, it's a bit different.
Mm.
Probably the Aston Martin.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, no, considering as well that that Ben, I believe, according to Mike, is gonna be getting it's gonna be a 30-second penalty next
Wow.
time around. Um, do you think you should have like 20 seconds on him worth of an advantage? Do you think that's gonna help you out?
Yeah. So if I qualify, which I of course choose too many track limits in the qualifying session, but what it depends on if I qualify and get a lap time in and the track. I'm unsure on the track for next week, but if
Yeah.
it's do you know where we are next week?
Wet brands.
Wet brand. Okay, so yeah, probably then.
Yeah, and I won't be in the broadcast booth for that, but I will very much be listening along at work. Thank you, free YouTube premium for that. But yes, yeah, but congrats on getting second, James. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come and keep up the good work, Chief.
Perfect. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, cheers.
Bye bye.
All right,
Okay,
we're moving on now to our race winner now of Ben Gilroy. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
deja vu. I
Another
think
race
we've been
win.
here.
Yes, another race win. It's been your third race win so far here in the Assetto Corsa Competizione Championship. You've started this race with a 15-second time penalty, given your advantage from back in Monza. Did you feel that has ever hindered your chances for winning?
Definitely at the start, with James White coming in with no penalty at all, I definitely felt a bit of pressure to perform, but halfway through the race it looked promising and I just kept on track, kept it consistent, and managed to take home the win.
Yeah. So I did talk about before the race started that there was a massive target on your back going into that. Did you kind of feel that going in, or maybe did it serve as some kind of motivation to, continue to be efficient on the track as you usually are?
It was definitely a thought to keep in mind during a race, but once I got that few second gap, it felt comfortable, and by then it's just maintaining your pace and not making any mistakes.
Ah, yeah. So with the next race, which I will not be in the broadcast booth for, but the success penalty should go up to 30 seconds. Do you think realistically that there is a chance that James White would be able to catch you with that 20-second advantage he would have?
Um, Definitely. I mean, 30 seconds is a very large gap to make up in a race. So we'll have to see. Anything can happen,
Yeah.
There could be
Could
crashes. But
yeah, could end up being you serving it out in the pits um this week. Actually, as all of the drivers with a penalty did this last week.
Oh,
Or actually, I just realized James is going to he'll get a
if you get
15-second
15.
for alumni. Yeah, so that would be 10 and 50. He'll have 25 seconds. Oh, it might just be a 5-second advantage
I was
then.
actually going to say, next
Yeah.
week we've got wet brands. How do you
Yeah.
feel you're going to be able to cope knowing that there is going to be that additional difference in performance between drivers, such as Owen, such as Cameron, with those success penalty difference? Because you're going to have 30 seconds. These guys are going to have about 15 each, so you have 15 seconds for both of them. Do you feel
I
like that
mean,
15 seconds is going to be enough?
it all depends. I mean, the Mustang, I've never driven it around brands, so
Mm.
it might be a good choice to switch cars now to something I'm more familiar with, especially if it's wet. But I know brands, it's very hard to overtake, so if there is any overtaking, it'll have to be in the pits. So there'll be a lot of strategy involved.
That's a fair point there. Goodness. But yeah, no. Congrats again on the victory, Ben.
Thank you.
If it ends up being a three-peat, you can say that you've done something that the Kansas City Chiefs could never do. uh, I got nothing else to
All
add.
right.
Thank you very much, Ben. Enjoy the
Cheers.
win again.
Yeah,
Cheers.
take it easy. Oh man.
Thanks for tuning
Well,
in, everyone. Next week, we'll be heading over to Brands Hatch. As mentioned before, the forecast for it is expecting to be wet. We'll be coming by over in a week's time, in the 17th of February 2025. Still a lot of chances for the championship to play for as Ben Gilroy extends his championship lead. I will be here for next week. As Ozzy has said 3-4 times already, he will not be here.
yeah,
And I'll
I
probably
should
be here
hopefully be
now
back.
because of Ozzy not being here, but it might be a little less scuffed, as this did take. We had
Oh,
5 minutes to set this whole stream up. So if you have been watching to the end, thank you very much. I know we haven't got our cameras up right now, but it's all been very impromptu. But I think you've all been really good sports this evening, you two. It's been lovely to have you.
yeah,
Hmm.
and you're producing as scuffed as it was. It still did the job, and it got it done. So, but
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, thank you
no.
very much.
I hope the BUSR does not miss me too much for 1 week. I should be back on the 24th for that race, but I will be following the race, kind of keeping one earbud in at work. So yeah, no,
Oh, don't worry.
yep. For Amir Oates, our fabulous producer Mike, and I'm Ozzy Vaughn. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.